Welcome back, everybody, to the 2017 Pokemon Video Game Regional Championships here in Portland, Oregon, in the Oregon Convention Center. We're ready to get underway here for round 7.
Yeah, we've got Phil Wingett and
Phil Wingett.
I'm sorry. And Raphael Bagara.
Mm-hmm. Raphael, hailing from Vancouver, Canada. Phil, hailing from California, Sacramento, California, Northern California. Both players are 5-1. Both players are playing pretty much to keep their tournament life alive.
Yeah, one of them could afford a loss technically, but not in the.
You never want to risk it.
You never want to risk it.
Nope. You never want to be that person that hopes that they can get in on resistance and just doesn't get in on resistance. So,
yep.
Essentially, the next couple matches that we're going to present to you are going to be win and stay alive.
Yep. And next round especially is going to be a tense one. You get two X1s, and the X2 might make it, might not make it. You never know, but you're in this position where these two guys are 2 wins in, and you're two more wins, and you're in the tournament.
Started off with 130 players.
Yeah.
I mean, not many players are in contention still, right?
No.
So, boy, only 8 players will cut in and go into the single elimination part of the bracket.
Yeah. Well,
and
right now, the only 2 XOs are Alberto and Conan, so everybody else is kind of sweating it out.
Really? There's only 2 XOs left?
Yeah, 2 XOs.
Boy.
I mean, those two we all featured on stream.
Yeah.
And, Smart Money going
Smart
strong.
Money.
Yeah.
Your Smart Money is still alive. My Smart Money is X2 right now. Kimo Nishimura is actually X2, so that's unfortunate, but another exciting round for you guys coming up. Phil going to be running Tapu Koko, Raichu, Tapu Lele, Pheromosa, Pelipper, and Golduck. Rapha running Porygon2, Garchomp, Nihilego, Arcanine, Lele, and Gigalith. Phil coming off a top cut in the San Jose Regional Championships. He unfortunately faced off against Enoch Shakar, who had a pretty solid counter to his well-known Pokemon Butterfree. Rapha, of course, the 2015 United States National runner-up, trying to get back to the promised land.
Yeah, and I don't really know what to say about this matchup. It's like nobody wants to face Phillip's team. That's just it's incredible hyper offense. There's non-stop damage. Even if you get Trick Room up, it's still really hard to stop. And good luck getting Trick Room up in front of that. With Porygon2 trying to face off against Pheromosa, things that I don't think anything on this team is unable to do 50% damage, except maybe Pelipper to the Porygon2. Wow.
You're at a loss for words here.
Yeah, it's a headache of a matchup.
Hey, remember when we said one player's team had a great matchup, would do massive amounts of damage through any Pokemon of his team? Aaron Cybertron Zhang versus Thomas Nishimura. Aaron Cybertron Zhang just kind of said no, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case here. I don't think it's a bad matchup. It's just the way Phillip's team plays is it can be a lot of cases where you have 2 moves and you have to just commit to one. And he forces a lot of bad situations. And if he knows his team and his matchup better than you do, I don't know if I like being in your shoes. And usually he practices quite a bit and knows what he's doing with things. So in this case, wow. Raichu, Pheromosa.
All right, let's get some hyper offense underway. Raphael going to lead with Nihilego and Porygon2. Alolan Raichu and Pheromosa leads for Phil, as Porygon2 downloads an attack boost. Again, that could matter, that could not matter, depending on what this Porygon2 knows.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it could be a return and probably KO both of the Pokemon on the field right now. And either way, right now the fake out pressure and then the attack pressure with Pheromosa, very strong from Phillip's side. But Nihilego does offer, if it does have a Focus Sash, it offers some protection from that. The Raichu probably has Encore. Usually they do fake out Encore, pressure you into protecting. Pheromosa doesn't want you to protect, and we'll see him switch out here.
Yeah, Porygon2 not wanting to stay in, going to switch out. Tapu Lele coming in, probably trying to take some sort of fighting type attack, which probably targeted down that Porygon2 slot. The battlefield is going to get weird, which is going to boost Alolan Raichu's psychic type attacks, as the high jump kick does connect onto Tapu Lele here. Going to do a not much damage at all thanks to that quadruple resist, as Raichu goes for a fling. Going to fling the King's Rock here onto that Nihilego, going to make it flinch. Right there, that Psychic Terrain came in to block a fake out, but instead Phil shows off his tech in Fling King's Rock.
Yeah, and it does the job, I guess, for this turn. It allows Pheromosa to have another turn of attacking, Don't know what the Tapu Lele is going to do here. Pheromosa does get Poison Jab, but it also has Life Orb, so that any move basically will knock this out. The Raichu potentially is sashed, but...
Well, no, Raichu just threw its King's Rock.
Raichu did, yeah, King's Rock, wow. So neither one of those is sashed, and both of those are Pokemon that could greatly benefit from a Focus Sash. So Phillip going all in. You got to make his moves right, or make his reads right. If either one of those protects and he calls it wrong, doesn't knock out the Pokemon targeting the thing he wants to, keep around, it's not really good news for him.
Raphael now going to withdraw the Tapu Lele, not going to want to stay in, possibly take a Poison Jab, going to switch, trying to bait that Poison Jab into that new Gigalith slot right there with a lot of high physical defense, going to whip up a Sandstorm, as we do see the Poison Jab now going to connect onto that Gigalith. Great switch right there from Raphael. Going to try to bypass this very hyper-offensive lead from Phil, as Raichu now goes for a Psychic, boosted by that Psychic Train. Is it going to be able to pick up the KO on Nihilego? Does get a special defense boost right there. Great switch. Gets a special defense drop, but not going to matter too much, as Nihilego goes for a Trick Room.
Wow. That was big for Raphael, especially with Pokemon that I don't think has anything on this team that goes really slow, except maybe Pelipper, and that thing is not wanting to switch on Gigalith.
Nihilego gets Trick Room?
Yeah, Nihilego gets Trick Room. It's wow, it's interesting, yeah, but and I don't know. I guess Phil's probably asking the same question.
That's fair.
And I think if I were in his shoes, I'd want to probably double the Nihilego there. Even if it would have, I don't know. A lot of the times they don't protect. It's an Assault Vest or it's 4 moves or something along those lines. So.
Yeah, and Pheromosa now protecting itself, not going to want to get KO'd just yet. Gigalith now going to go for the Continental Crush. Going to crush either Raichu or the Pheromosa through the Protect. Probably just going to try to knock out this Raichu right off the bat.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Would be all right. I mean, all he wants to do is, take as much damage as possible while Trick Room's up. Raichu going to get squished by a rock.
Yeah.
Poor Raichu. And goodbye, Raichu. There's 0 chance of that thing holding on. Its defense is quite pitiful.
Not even Focus Sash, as Nihilego goes for a Sludge Bomb into that Pheromosa slot. Pheromosa, very frail. Raichu, very frail. So now Phil has to switch into Pokemon. Not really anything that can come in and be able to deal with the Trick Room here.
No, and nothing really, and that's something he really, really has to prevent from getting up. If he wants to be able to maintain games in the future, game 2 and maybe move on to a game 3, he needs to be able to find a way to keep things from getting Trick Room up. That's what Pheromosa's goal is, but I don't think he saw it coming with Nihilego, or he did, and maybe just didn't expect it to happen right there.
Not at all. Pelipper comes in right now, going to change the weather to rain, going to take away Nihilego and Gigalith's special defense boost from the Sandstorm, which would have come in handy when that Raichu hit that Nihilego with a Psychic.
Yeah, if you would have switched that turn, actually probably would have gone first, so it wouldn't have mattered, but would have been nice to have rain up.
Yeah, for sure. Pelipper protecting itself, not going to want to take a Rock Slide from this Gigalith, or whatever this Nihilego is going to try to throw at it. It is going to connect onto the Pheromosa here and easily picks up the KO. Pheromosa so frail. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and no wide guard. I don't know. Pelipper does go wide guard.
It does get wide guard, yeah.
So nothing there. That would have been kind of nice for him here, but...
yeah, but maybe that Power Gem was going to target down the Pheromosa anyways.
Yeah, the Power Gem would have knocked it out. And a Ducks.
Double Ducks. Golduck switching in. Going to, unfortunately, be boosted in terms of speed, so not exactly the best situation for Phil. And it looks like Rapha, thanks to that clutch Trick Room from that Nihilego, going to be able to pull this one out with ease.
Yeah, I don't think there's any ways losing this game. Press Rock Slide here, unless you get, the surprise wide guard that wasn't for some reason revealed last turn. Yeah, not happening.
Maybe this Pelipper does not carry wide guard. The Rock Slide connects. Pelipper hangs on. Golduck still hanging on as well. Pelipper flinching cannot move as Nihilego goes for a Power Gem. That could have been huge if that Pelipper did not flinch. Nihilego going to go ahead and get the Power Gem off and pick up the KO and also get a Beast Boost in special attack here. Yeah, it's pretty much the opposite of Kartana. As Golduck flinches as well. Unfortunate.
And Weirdness gone. I mean, I don't know if even if he would have been able to attack with both Pokemon, knock out the Gigalith with the Pelipper and knock out the Nihilego with the Golduck, not sure it matters. He still wouldn't be able to KO the Pelipper, and it would have been Golduck versus 2 Pokemon in the back. One was Lele. So and
Porygon2.
Yeah, and Porygon2. It's not really a contest. You need to critical hit a lot of moves.
Great defensive switching from Raphael. He acknowledged the fact that my Porygon2 is threatened. I'm going to switch Tapu Lele. Now my Tapu Lele is threatened. I'm going to switch it into Gigalith and set up Trick Room, which I did not see coming at all.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg is the perfect nickname for that team. Wow. Raphael played that well. I think it's going to be hard. Phillip's going to have to really balance what he wants to do in terms of stopping Trick Room. He brought the right 4 Pokemon, I believe. Raichu, Pheromosa, Pelipper, Golduck. Maybe he wants to bring Coco instead of Raichu. Depends on what he wants to accomplish here. But he did bring a solid 4. He wants to bring Pheromosa. He wants to have rain. So he has something for the Porygon, something for the Nihilego. But
for the Arcanine, for the Gigalith.
Yeah.
For that Garchomp.
Yeah, he definitely wants rain mode here. But he looks like he's locked in on his Pokemon really quickly. But I don't know if he's going to be able to manage both Pokemon at once. It's a lot of switching, and his team is not capable of defensive switching. So
no, not at all.
Yeah, Raphael having two Trick Room Pokemon, he can kind of maneuver with the defensive switches just like he did that game. No, slowly take attacks as he needs to, and those attacks are things that Phillip cannot weather. So if I'm Phillip here, I hope my lead's right. I hope I'm able to put out enough damage so that Raphael cannot switch.
You might actually, if you're Phil, in his situation, you have to try to make a read, Yeah. Don't play into what Raphael has on the field. Maybe play a bit more what is Raphael going to do and how am I going to have to counter that.
Yeah, that's true. And he may have to get to that point. And his team is capable of it. He's definitely able to pick off switches and keep going, but it's a little risky.
There's got to be some taunter on Phil's side. I mean, either Coco or Lele could possibly carry taunt.
Yeah. Well, he brings Raichu Pheromosa again.
Oh, boy. All right. Same leads. Exact same leads for both players.
Was it the same?
I believe so. Nihilego and Porygon2, yeah.
I thought Lele was last game.
No. Porygon2 switched.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, and Porygon2 gets an attack boost thanks to that download ability. And now it's in the exact same boat. You have to respect the Lele switching, so you can't just go straight for that fake out.
Yeah. That's why he went for that King's Rock Fling. But now he knows that Pheromosa is not Sash. It is indeed Life Orb. And it probably cannot KO the Nihilego. I mean, a high jump kick can, but is it Sash Nihilego? I don't know if we actually saw the item last game. And
no, we did not.
We know it's not Assault Vest because there is Trick Room on it. That's about all we figured out. All
right, Porygon2 now switching out, going to go back into Tapu Lele, going to prevent any sort of fake-out shenanigans from happening here, thanks to the Psychic Surge, thanks to the Psychic Terrain that comes with the Psychic Surge. And now Nihilego going to protect itself, not going to want to take a fling, probably expecting that, as Pheromosa goes for another high jump kick, going to hit this Tapu Lele, quadruple resisting, not going to do much damage at all. What is Raichu going to go for here? Raichu decides to go for a fling into that protect, so maybe that is a Focus Sash Nihilego.
Yeah, it could be, and that could be preventing him from breaking the Sash there. But even then, right here, he can double into the Nihilego, take it out, which does allow Porygon2 to come back in. It's really a weird situation, but it looks like Phil's going to lose a Mon regardless of what he wants to do here. Either he loses a Mon or Pokemon, or he allows Trick Room to get up, and that's just I don't know if he wants either one of those to happen.
Can't allow Trick Room to get up.
Yeah.
Pheromosa goes for a Poison Jab. No switching to that Gigalith right here as the Poison Jab hits that Tapu Lele and does not even pick up the KO.
Poison.
Does get the Poison, so Tapu Lele is going to get knocked out at the end of the turn anyways. Oh, boy. Now Raichu goes for an Encore. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Nihilego now locked in to protect. Rapha maybe forgetting that that's why you don't protect. But Tapu Lele does go for a Dazzling Gleam, hitting that Raichu and that Pheromosa. Raichu hangs on, but Pheromosa gets knocked out.
Yeah, a lot of damage there. Nihilego, well, protects. But Tapu Lele knocked out. Now, the great thing is that he did take out the Pheromosa, and he does have Porygon. But that sets him a turn back because he's Encored. So he can Trick him up here. There's really no way for him to be stopped. But that Raichu with Psychic here deals a lot of damage in Psychic Terrain. And depending on what Phil has in the back, could do enough damage to knock out or Porygon2 if it switches in here, or Gigalith for that matter.
Instead, Tapu Koko comes in, going to activate the ability of Alolan Raichu, the Surge Surfer, doubling its speed. Porygon2 comes in for the fainted Tapu Lele, thanks to that poison damage. And Porygon2 now going to get another download boost, going to be another attack boost.
Yeah, this is a situation where Tapu Koko may have a Z move. And it may be Gigavolt Havoc.
Could be Gigavolt Havoc. Could be Nature's Madness. Could be Guardians of Alola to make sure that the Porygon2 gets knocked out.
But in this case, it would probably not be the best situation because Raichu will move first. and it would.
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
Well, it does 75% of the current HP.
Of the current HP, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's not what he wants.
Yep, Nihilego has to switch out, does not want to stay in and just keep protecting. Gigalith switching in now, going to bring the sand and possibly try to take whatever was going to be thrown at that Nihilego, but I think Porygon2 is the bigger threat here. Raichu goes for a Psychic, going to hit this Porygon2. Interesting that he didn't go for an electric type attack. Maybe he doesn't have it. Oh, Thunder in the Sandstorm. Not accurate at all, but Porygon2 instead goes for a tri-attack to pick up the KO on that Raichu.
Interesting. I don't know why there wasn't a Trick Room there, given that he probably would have won the game right there, but...
Maybe he was scared of a taunt from the top of Coco.
Could have been, yeah. Could have been worried about the taunt. It doesn't put him in the worst position, but he depends on what is in the back is Lele.
Double Tapu for Phil.
Yeah, it makes sense with the Steam archetype. You definitely want Coco Raichu if you're going to run Raichu. Raichu works well with both of them.
Yeah.
It benefits from both terrains. And I think it's a strong Pokemon alongside Pheromosa. So those four work really well together. He doesn't even have to bring Rain Mode. But maybe he's wanting Rain Mode right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. We actually see that Tapu Koko has choice spec, so it's going to be locked into Thunder. The accuracy of Thunder isn't actually affected by Sandstorm, I believe. The Thunder does come out and connect on that Porygon2. No longer boosted by that Psychic terrain. Tapu Lele goes for a Psychic, hitting that Porygon2, trying to prevent it from setting up a Trick Room, and Porygon2 gets knocked out. And now Gigalith going for a Continental Crush, going to pick up the KO on a Pokemon of his choosing.
Likely Tapu Lele, now that the terrain's up. And if he does knock out Tapu Lele, that should be the game.
That should be it.
Unless he... there's really no way out of it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we didn't even see a Z move coming out from Phil at all. This Gigalith now going to crush this Tapu Lele, pick up the KO, and pretty much seal the deal.
Yeah, and guess Phil probably didn't want to face two Trick Room users. That's probably the moral of the story. His team definitely works against a lot of the things in the format, but this was not the team he wanted to run into.
I mean, the only real out, maybe Thunder, Paralyze, a lot of things. But Nihilego can just go for a Sludge Bomb, so...
Yeah, Paralyze the Nihilego here. Hope that he misses a move with Gigalith. He doesn't have Earthquake. I mean, not a lot to do. Yep, well, there it is.
Yep, Nihilego dodges that Thunder, and now Gigalith goes for a Rock Slide here, as I believe Nihilego going to go try to set up a Trick Room just to seal the deal. Yep. Even then, the timer is set because of the Sandstorm, and both these Pokemon get a special defense boost. Nihilego actually already has a Sky-High special defense stat as well.
Yeah, probably would not have come close to KOing. Even with a critical hit, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have done anything there. So
yeah, and it looks like Phil is ready to forfeit the match, and Raphael Bagara moves on to 6-1.
Yeah.
Good job, Rafa. I mean, that Nihilego, that was really difficult for Phil to try to get around. You know, two Trick Room setters. You don't really think of Nihilego as a Trick Room setter.
No, it's not something you look at and you're like, wow, that's going to set up Trick Room. But on this team, I guess we should have probably taken a guess at it. Maybe. I mean, the Garchomp Arcanine's not really yelling Trick Room, but he does have some things like Lele Gigalith definitely can work in Trick Room. Even Arcanine can. So maybe that's something Raphael's used to his advantage today. Yeah,
and the key play of that set has to come down to the fact that Rafa did a lot of great defensive switching in Game 1. Mm-hmm. Switch that Porygon2, take that high jump kick, switch that Tapu Lele out to the Gigalith to take it as he set up Trick Room.
Yeah.
So great plays right there from Rafa going into Game 1. Game 2, he did get stuck a little bit with that Encore, but he was still able to pull it out. Tapu Lele surviving that Poison Jab, huge.
Yeah, that was a big one. He was able to get a knockout on that. Knockout at the Pheromosa, which probably sealed the deal. If Pheromosa is able to keep high jump kicking things and you have the pressure for Encore and that whole combination gets really scary. So being able to take a hit, knock it out, and seal the deal is, I mean, he had to feel really great about that because that's a team you don't know what to do against. I mean, he had options, he had tools for it, but you never feel comfortable against it. You'll never feel safe about making a play until you've got yourself a good advantage. From the outset, that team will put pressure on you all game long.
Yeah, and Phil, he needed to make some good reads in Game 2, make some predictions in Game 2. Unfortunately, he didn't. Maybe he went for the Poison Jab into that Porygon2 slot, expecting that Porygon2 to switch out and hit that Tapu Lele instead. That would have been a great call, but, Phil didn't make that play.
Yeah, he had to make some sort of deep read, and I think that's right where Raphael wanted him. Still doesn't feel good because if he does make the read, you're like, wow, that's terrifying. But he didn't make any of those reads, and it came back to haunt him. He ended up high jump kicking a Tapu Lele twice. So
yeah, but hey, you know what? Phil Wingett moves to 4-2, 5-2.
Yeah.
Still has a chance to cut, but now he's going to have to rely on winning out and resistance.
Yep.
And by winning out, I mean one more.
Yeah. So one more game, give yourself a shot, and pretty decent chance of top 16, especially with now you have Raphael and resistance 6-1.
Yep. Rafa, one more win secures him a spot in the top cut. One more loss, and he has to rely on the tiebreakers, which is something that you don't want to do. So one more round here in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I might think about it.
We'll think about it during this quick break.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everybody.